In this video, we're going to look at creating a ERD diagram in MySQL. So ERD stands for Entity Relationship Diagram. So we're going to do that, create one of those using this database here called Database 1. So this database has three tables: enrollment, student and unit. And to view the contents of these tables, we can click this little button to the right, which will execute this little bit of SQL code for each of these tables. So for the enrollment table, we select all columns from this database and from this table, and we can see the output here below. So we can see the field names and also the records in that table. We can do the same for the student table, the field names and the records, and the unit table. Let's now create a ERD diagram. So to do that, we can just go to Database, Reverse Engineer. We can leave this as is, select Next, type in our password, Next, select the database we want to use for the ERD diagram, Database 1, Next, execute, next, then finish. We can see our ERD diagram has been created. Let's take a closer look at this ERD diagram. So here are our three tables that we saw earlier: the unit table, the enrollment table, and the student table. We can see we have relationships between these tables, so a one-to-many relationship between student and enrollment, and a one-to-many relationship between unit and enrollment. We can see the primary keys and foreign keys for each of these tables. So unit code is the primary key for the unit table, student NBR is the primary key for the student table, and student number, unit code, enrollment year, enrollment semester is in combination a primary key for the enrollment table. We can see that student number is also a foreign key for student number in the student table, and unit code is a foreign key in the enrollment table for unit code, which is the primary key in the unit table. So these relationships, or this crowfoot diagram, we can see we have a unit can have one or many enrollments, and an enrollment can have one and only one unit, and a student can have one or many enrollments, but an enrollment can have one and only one student. So that's what these little crowfoot diagrams mean. We also have the data types for each column or field. So integer, characters up to 7 characters, variable character, so up to 50 variable characters, and we have a date data type field here for the date of birth. This entity here is called a bridging or composite entity, and we need to use these types of entities when we have a many-to-many relationship between two entities. So a student can be enrolled in many units, and a unit can have many students. So that's a many-to-many relationship. So we need to break that up using a bridging or composite entity, using a one-to-many relationship.